This show is part of the HeadStuff podcast network.
Hello, how are you getting on? And welcome to another gorgeous, lovely, beautiful episode of Listen, I'm Delicious. Everybody's favourite podcast who's heard it. I suspect, maybe I'm wrong, but I could be right as well, and that's what I hope. Today we have the lovely Janet Devlin, who I remember first seeing when I was but a teenager. I don't even know if I was a teenager. I was probably 12, which is a bit of a grey area as to whether you're a teenager or a child. I was more of a child when I was 12. Maybe some of you were more sort of mature than me, but I was a child. But yeah, I think I seen her on the X Factor at that time. She came on the X Factor and did, I believe, the Elton John song, Your Song. And it was like a huge, big viral hit. I think it has like 50 million views or something on YouTube. And, it was all over the X Factor, which was huge. People were still watching the X Factor at that point. People stopped watching the X Factor shortly after that. But yeah, she was like a big sensation. And she's still going at the music. She's just released a country album. That was 13 years ago, believe it or not. Starting to feel a bit... No, I wasn't 12, man, because I'm 30 now. I must have been 17. Yeah, no, I was like 17, sorry. I completely forgot. I think it was it was 13 years ago, because I remember she said that. Anyway, I was some age younger than I am now. Not yet an adult. So, yeah, it was like a huge viral sensation for her. She was, obviously on the X Factor. She did quite well on the X Factor. And we're talking today sort of about what the X Factor was like, what it was like to kind of form a career from after being on the X Factor, all the stuff she's done since. She's got quite a big social media following now. And I shared a little bit of an interesting story about, I actually was asked, so for those of you that don't know, a lot of these shows now, they sort of like try and find people on the internet, and then they sort of try to get them to be on the show. So they have these scouts who just go and look for people on social media. And I was actually approached by a particular one. I'm not going to say which one it was, but I was approached by them. And it was actually before I started doing any of my comedy videos. It was when I used to just post music on my Instagram page. And they got onto me and they were lovely. I submitted a couple of videos to them that they asked for, and a couple of songs they asked me to do, and we were talking about doing an audition, and they actually got in contact with me again this year, but I'm kind of too busy to do it now, so I said no. But at the time, the reason I didn't do it is I remember when you would watch, you would always know who was going to do well on the show, because when they came on, they'd always kind of have a bit of a sob story, like it'd be like, hello, my name is Michael and my life is hard, And basically, when you do, so they put me through the way it works is they were kind of letting me skip sort of part of the show, so I wasn't going to have to go to going to have to go and do the initial auditions that you do before it's on TV. So there's you do a lot of auditions before it goes onto TV, and then there's the auditions that happen on TV, but you have to have already done auditions to get that far. I hope I've explained that well. I don't think I have. So they were going to let me skip that initial bit and just do the TV auditions. And so what they wanted me to do was obviously sing a song. And then I was doing an interview with somebody and they were like, oh, so let's kind of delve into your background. So I spent about 25 minutes talking to them. And the reason I didn't do it is because they kind of just wanted me to sort of ham up the hard bits of my life. And sure, yourself, everybody has a fucking hard life. There's not a person among us that's had an easy life. But they wanted me to kind of, basically tell a sob story. And I was like, do you know what? I don't know if I want to go on television and just be the fella that was like, oh, do you know, I don't know, I'm really fat. I might have said different stuff than that, but I didn't want to be that person that was on just kind of, whinging and then going on singing a song and crying or whatever. It wasn't for me. I think when Janet was doing it, it was a bit different. So it was like, I don't think you knew when you were going in exactly what you were getting into. They're kind of a lot better now, I think, about telling you, okay, so this is kind of what it's going to be like. And, but I think at the time it was kind of a shock for people. They kind of went and auditioned and then all of a sudden they're on the show and there's clips of them, talking about something. So it must have been well, I know it was because we talked about it, but back in the day, I can't imagine what that experience was like for just a normal person going on and having this huge thing and people know all this stuff about your family or whatever. So that's the reason that I said that I didn't want to do it, is because I just wasn't really comfortable with that being the main thing. I have talked about a few things in interviews. I've talked about agoraphobia and stuff that I've struggled with over the years, but I try not to harp on about it. And I didn't want to be kind of going on the television all the time going, oh, my name is Garron, it's awful hard, you know. So I said no, and I don't think I would go on any of them now. I'm kind of happy with my lot now. So I don't think I really want to go on like a television talent show or anything like that. But yeah, that's the story of when I was approached by one. We're going to go on to Janet Devlin now. Do I have anything else to say to you? Let me think now. Do I have anything else to say to you? I don't. I've nothing else interesting to say. I love you. I hope you're having a good day. Having a nice day? I hope you're having a nice day. I think you look really well, and I think you're probably lovely. Anyway, here's Janet Devlin. Hello, how are you getting on? Welcome to episode probably 8 or 7 or maybe even 6, I can't remember, of Listen, I'm Delicious, the greatest podcast on the planet. Previously the #1 podcast, now floating around somewhere in the top 10. We will get back there. Today we have the lovely Janet Devlin, international superstar singer. You have a podcast as well, internet personality. What do you not do?
Oh, chill out.
Chill out.
Nah, I say that. I was in my jammies like last weekend, so it's all good.
Yeah. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
I'm very excited to have you here.
I'm surprised you let me in the room because I'm a massive fan, and I'm just I think it's dangerous. No, I'm kidding. But I am a massive fan.
Well, I have known about you since I was a kid. Because I watched your first performance on the X Factor.
Oh, Jesus.
Live as it went out.
What age are you?
I am 30.
Oh, we're the same age then.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
grand. Because I get that now from people being like, I was 6 years old. And I'm like, shh, child.
No, unfortunately, I wasn't 6. I was probably, what year was that?
2011.
2011. What
13 years ago.
Jesus, I was 17, yeah. And I remember, yeah, it was strange because I remember the whole country just being like, that's somebody from Ireland, that's good.
That's the way it was. No, it was always that way because you had Mary.
Mary was
Tesco
class.
Mary, as people called her, just for the brand recognition there.
Yeah.
And then you had Owen Quigg. And,
yes, Owen Quigg, yeah.
They're the ones that I can remember where it was like, it's a big deal.
Yeah,
it's a huge deal. Like, not even just because I went on it, but as a watcher, it was like, yes, somebody from home, yeah.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
It was always that, like, who's the token Irish this year?
Yeah, but I remember there was like posters up in the school and everything. We were very excited. It was like the All Ireland, like it was a big deal.
I think there was a whole thing that year as well as opening up the vote for the Republic.
Oh, right.
I don't know if it was a thing before that.
Yeah, it must. I remember I did vote for you. So
I didn't earn any of that money, so I can't give it back to you.
Right. Eventually, I will get that €2 of credit back. €2 though, cheap enough.
Oh,
no, I don't want to go on and on about X Factor because it was a long time ago. But yes. I am curious as to like, so you're 16, 17 at the time?
16, yeah.
So when you went on, what were you expecting to happen? Nothing, yeah.
No, so I had a wee YouTube channel going.
Yeah.
Because I started off as a drummer and then I was doing singing competitions to earn money for my drum kit.
Okay.
Right? Because I already was doing horse riding, so my parents were like, we're not buying you a drum kit, you have a horse.
That is two very
That's
expensive
too much.
hobbies.
Yeah, I know. We weren't rich, by the way. We somehow managed to do it on low budgets. But no, I entered those to get money. I never would have won, but I would have placed. And then that was maybe £100. So that was the goal, to get the drum kit. My friend came, she was like, I'm giving you this for Christmas. Here's a video camera. I want you to upload them to YouTube. So in like 2010, 2011, I think I had like 20,000 followers on YouTube. Oh, wow. I know.
In 2010, that's like a million followers now.
It's mental, right? Yeah. But I didn't have any concept of it because I lived with my nan at the time. So 5 days a week, no Wi-Fi. No text messages because there was bad signal. Only one place I could get signal. She had 4 channels on the TV, and she religiously watched the news, and I didn't care.
Yeah.
So I had no concept of what was going on. I would just go home at the weekend, film a video, upload it, go back to work. Go back to school.
Yeah. Wow. So when you go on then and you audition, I'm assuming there's because there's parts that aren't live, isn't there? And then there's
you have before the audition that people sing.
Yes.
Jeez, I did 8 auditions in one day.
Wow, that's mad.
Mm-hmm. I swear, in one of them though, right? Imagine this, you got 2 people from Sony record label sitting down. Now, this might have been my 4th one. And they're just sat and they got a note and they're passing between each other. And I sang 6 or 7 songs. And I could literally see them going,
Yeah.
do you have another song? How many fucking songs do you want? I was like, just going through everything I'd sang on YouTube at that point. Just like, oh, I don't know, I think I know this one.
Yeah.
And then eventually they went, yeah, okay.
Right. So you were thinking, I'm going to go out in the live show and they're not going to be too bothered with me.
I didn't even think they were going to air me. Because,
right, okay.
you know, there's so many people that get filmed.
Yeah.
Like, in my day alone, there's about 200 people that get filmed.
So when do you find out then that you're actually going to be on the television? Is it before, or are you just watching the F Factor and you're like, oh, there I am?
Well, like a couple of weeks before the audition went out, there was a cameraman and an assistant kind of sent to the house. But again, there's loads of people that get that, right? And I remember doing the interview and they were like, so we want to speak to your nan. And I went, I can't do that because that'll send her into an early grave. She doesn't want to be on telly. But that was right. So people, if you remember my audition, the whole sob story was, oh, I live beside sheep and I'm shy. You know, and that's because they were going to use my nan as fodder to be like, she lives with her grandmother because she had a triple heart bypass and whatnot. And I'm just sat there going like, no. But last minute I found that out and I said, we can't film my nan.
So you had to go with the sheep and I'm sad angle.
I'm sad, yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
right.
Yeah. So if you're wondering why that was the angle that is way.
Yeah, well, I sort of understand where you're coming from because I have been approached by a particular talent show to go on it.
Ew.
And the reason I didn't go on it, I was going to try it.
When was this?
2 years in a row.
When recently?
The last 2 years, yeah.
Jesus.
The reason I didn't go on it is because I got through to this part. I didn't even audition. I got to this part where they were kind of talking to me and they were like, oh
no, because you're not like regular apply talent. You got scouted.
They do scout people.
He got scouted.
They do scout.
They scouted like there's so many people on my year that got scouted, and I'm like, what are you on? How did you just get discovered? What's going like? What you didn't line up like the rest is?
I think now it seems like they're very much into finding internet people and trying to get them on. Whether they're good or bad, I think is irrelevant. I think they just like, sure, look, if he comes on and he's shite, then people will watch that as well.
But also viewers, they're like, well, but also it's the logic of they've done market research already. Like people like you, they follow you. Yeah. So that's half their work done.
Yeah, but it is weird. The reason I didn't end up going on it was because I was talking to them and they were kind of like, so like, you know, how shit was your life? Like how much can we talk about how shit your life is? And I was like,
that's the research part and it's awful.
Yes.
Because like the amount of stuff that I was just honest with them, and then I had to like go, no, I can't talk about that. No, can't talk about that. No, can't talk about that.
So yeah, I did the exact same thing where I sort of told them the rough story, and then I started backtracking on things because I was like, well, I don't want to. I thought I was just going to go on telly and have the crack.
They're probing. Resort, like let's leave. Yeah, no, it's very invasive.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the cop on to go, oh yeah, no, I don't want to talk about that on TV.
Yes.
If you don't have that knowledge, then you end up as one of the people that goes, oh, your nan was dying.
Yeah.
That one. Yes. Oh, God.
It's very strange, yeah. And I kind of decided against it because, like, even...
You don't need it.
Well, now, it's not the same as it was
They don't
back
have...
then.
The internet has the power now.
Yeah.
Like...
Back then, like, back in, like, 2010, 2011, going on the X Factor was, like... Or so... I wasn't
well,
X
like,
Factor, but...
Well, it's like people actually sat around and watched TV.
Yeah.
Netflix wasn't... it was a thing, but it wasn't what it is now.
Yeah.
And like all of the, like internet discovery was at a high. That's how Justin Bieber got discovered because he did the YouTube thing. Like it was only in its fetal days.
Yes.
But TV was where the power was.
Yeah,
because you still had like 20 million people tuning into a show, which is if a show gets 1 million viewers now, that's amazing.
Huge.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Whereas like nowadays, it's like don't bother doing that. Why would you go on it? Like I mean, America's Got Talent. Yeah. Still a good one if you're looking for a show. But no. Anything else, just do it your own way. Just keep posting on the internet. Like otherwise,
yeah. The internet's insane now. Like the amount of people that you can drum up on the internet is crazy. And there's still a lot of people. I think even people who work on the internet or who have built something up on the internet, they still feel like they want to go into TV or something like that because they have this idea that it's better, even though it's actually not any better.
No, and then also there's because I'm on both sides of it because I've done TV, but I've also been doing the internet stuff since like 2010 or so. Like my account is 2006. My YouTube channel was made. Oh my God! But like I've been doing both, and then after TV, I went fully into the content thing in like 2013, and like I've seen it on both sides. I've seen the content creators fight so hard to get that media recognition and get like a a slot on a show and this, that, and the other. And then I've seen like TV people wanting to create an empire online.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know how to tell you this. None of them are going to bring you joy.
Yeah.
None of them are going to be a quick fix. Nobody's going to give you a silver spoon.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, either way you go, it's not going to be what you expect it to be.
That's 100% true.
So it's not like you're going to get a slot on a TV show and then it's like, oh, you're the next big thing. Going to make you a big star.
I think people do think that, like they think that you get to maybe a certain point, and the point is different for everybody. Some people might look at what I'm doing and go, that's the point. Some people might look at somebody who's, you know, an A-lister and go, that's the point.
Yeah.
The range is totally different. But everybody thinks you get to a certain point and then you're like, oh, well, this is class.
Yeah.
Everybody loves me. Everything is great. Where actually the experience is more like, fuck, I've landed on something. I don't know how I've got here. And I'm probably going to fuck it up.
Yeah. Imposter syndrome will be there no matter how big you get.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You'll still be thinking that there's a next, like, you just move the goalposts.
Yeah.
You know,
for sure.
some people are like, I want to get 1 million followers. And then before they've got it, it's 10 million.
Yeah.
You know, you just keep pushing it. And it's like, you know, realistically, you're never going to be happy.
Yes.
If you're just chasing monetary or like figures
sure.
or whatever. It doesn't matter.
I've got some of the wrong stuff and some of the right stuff, okay? So this is the correct drink. So it's Monster Energy Zero Sugar. I've actually never had Monster. Is that shocking to you?
I don't know.
I feel like everybody's had Monster except me.
Well, I'm sober.
Your
I don't have
snack?
much choice.
Is Milk Duds.
Yes.
This is like an American thing.
This is a pristine diet we've got going on
Yeah,
here.
that's it. We've got the good old healthy stuff down there as well.
I have a 13-year-old boy's diet.
Okay, so Milk Duds. I don't know if I've had
Have you
Milk
never
Duds.
had one?
I don't know if I have.
Oh, jeez. Don't
but-
look at the calories. That only brings you sadness, guys.
Do I look like a man who looks at the calories?
Oh, Jesus. I always say calories don't count in the dark, and that's when I'm eating them
So
in
we've
bed
got
at 2 a.m.
per 10-piece serving, 130 Actually, that's not great. So Milk Duds. Let's have a go. Oh, they're harder than I went.
Oh, no,
right,
they're supposed to be chewy.
I went right. I think it's a bit cold.
It's cold outside.
Yeah.
No, they need to be, they're normally nice and
Okay.
chewy.
Okay, so it's caramel.
Yeah. It's just the American version of Poppets. Mm-hmm. I'll settle for a Poppet. They're grand. I love them.
They are good.
Yeah. Because my
Milk
thing
Duds.
is I like chewy. So I like bonbons.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but if I can only pick between a sweet and a chocolate, so then you got the best of both worlds.
So it's always-
chewy and chocolate.
See, I hate chewy stuff.
Oh no, because otherwise, right? So I take these meds at night, right?
Okay.
That the average person when they're on these meds gains at least, I think it's like 2 stone, 3 stone.
Okay.
Right. And it's because when you take those meds, 45 minutes later, you turn into a pregnant stoner. And it's awful. I could eat the entirety of my kitchen, right?
Yeah.
And I just will knock those back like it's nobody's business. But
Yeah.
I also will eat chewy things because it takes me longer to eat it. So then I am not going to eat even more than what I'm already
So
doing.
this is the strategy:
This
is to
is the
eat chewy
strategy.
things. There you go.
I know.
See, I literally just pick things up in my hand and place them in the back of my throat, and then just allow gravity to make it fall onto my body.
No, don't, because the last person I dated, right, they were like a sports nutritionist for big athletes,
Yeah.
like international athletes, right? And they were very in shape, big, strong man.
Yeah.
And we lived together at one point and all this. And 6 months into living together, he turns to me at the dinner table and he goes, "It's just not fair, because it's supposed to be the woman that gets fat in the relationship. It's not supposed to be me." And I goes, "It's because the problem is once it hits past dinner, because I don't allow myself any sweets before dinner
Okay.
because I need rules. But once I've had dinner, it's off to the races till I'm asleep.
Okay.
I will be just doing my mouth is lonely constantly.
Yeah.
And, I'm just being nice, So I should be a lot heavier than I am. But by the grace of God, he's given me a metabolism that is really good. So I'll eat like a 13-year-old boy until the day the metabolism goes. And then that's fine. I'll go and pursue healthiness and whatever.
Yeah.
I don't want to know what my arteries look like. Don't talk to me, right? I know that they're really bad, but nobody knows.
Yeah, God blessed me with both the hunger and the storage capacity to really dive into pretty much everything he grew on this great planet, every animal he put on the planet, everything. I've taken a bite out of it.
But you know what? There's people I know that cycled every day of their life, ate really well, and still died at 50, and I don't care.
There you go. You can be fat, have a sore arse when you try and get on a bike, and die at 50 as well. So you get your choice in life. You take it. Your favourite food, as I struggle to acquire it. I don't believe this is your optimal favourite food, but it's the easiest one I could get.
Yes, yeah.
So you said either chicken and ham pie. Pies are very hard to come by in Ireland.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because anytime I go to a restaurant now, I'm either having a roast dinner
pie.
or a pie. Pie and chips.
Pie's a weird one. So like there's the like quintessential fat lad line where you go, who had all the pies? Well, not me. I don't like pies.
Oh no, see, I used to be a runner. Funny, people don't associate me with sport, and I don't blame you. But I qualified to run for. I accepted to run for Ireland and Northern Ireland, and then I quit.
All right.
I couldn't be bothered anymore. Because I never trained or anything. I was just like one of those people that were just all right at it from the start. But I used to come home, and you know the pies you get that you make at home, and they're like a dome.
Yeah,
they're the size of a plate.
Like the ones you pop in the oven, them lads, yeah.
So I would have had those. I would have had a full half a pie with my dad. He would have had the other half. And then we would have had a half a plate then filled with home cooked chips because we had a deep fat fryer at the house. So we'd have chips and pie. And somehow because I used to be like a size 4 until I got to about 16, puberty. And
I used to be a size 4 until I got to about 7 months old.
Still got to 5.
It wasn't even 5. I was a heifer by the time I was 5.
But yeah, no, I've been a big eater my whole life, and again, I don't know how I'm this size.
So we have pad thai here. Mm-hmm.
I'll get away from the mic because I hate eating.
We have pad thai here, which again I've never actually had. I've heard of, but I've never had it.
Man.
This is just like noodles and chicken and what have you, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. It's supposed to be a bit peanutty.
Okay, is this peanutty?
Is it? I don't want to drop any hate, but it's maybe not the best pad thai I've ever had in my life.
We won't mention the establishment then.
But you know, it's not the. It's you know what, to have it in Ireland.
Oh, there's
great.
carrots in it. That's mad. Okay, it's actually pretty good. Mm. It's So what's not good about this? So I can rate it fairly.
It's normally a bit peanuttery. It's not normally maybe as it seems like quite a lot of soy sauce in it.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah, it's maybe not as vast a flavour palette, but I'm the worst person to ask because my palate's not great.
Okay, so I've had my first experience of pad thai, which I have been told is shit. So I'm going to give this
It's nice.
I'm going to give this a 6.5 out of 10.
But a pie, you would give a 10.
I don't like pies. I'll tell you why. I have like
the trauma from the phrase.
Sorry?
The trauma from the phrase.
From the what?
When people say who had all the pies, is it the trauma?
Oh no, not the trauma from the phrase. No. No, I'd be happy to eat all the pies. No. So what happened was, as a child, I had a traumatic experience with a pie. It's
always trauma.
Yeah, I had three traumatic experiences. One of them, 4 if you count stuff that didn't actually happen in real life.
Okay.
But one of my main food traumas was I had a pie. And it was one of them ones that, like, you know, you buy it in the shop and you throw it in the microwave or whatever.
Okay.
So I fired it in the microwave out of the freezer, and then I was eating it along quite happily, and then I got to a point that was completely frozen, and I ate that. And I was like, oh, that's disgusting, but I think I must have swallowed a bit of it, so then I threw up the next day for ages. And that now I can't eat pies anymore. Same thing with banoffee. I've only vomited like 4 times in my life.
Wow.
I know, yeah. I've got a very strong stomach, or else that's really bad. I don't know which.
And you've never had a real hangover either, which is mad.
I've never had a hangover in my life. I just pretend to fit in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if you'd be like me, because I didn't have a hangover until I got a hangover.
Okay. Okay.
And I lasted quite a long time before I got like a hangover.
I've never had one, but you see, I don't drink that much, so like.
Oh well, then yeah. I mean,
no, but I have been.
You have done.
I have been twisted, like.
Well, when was the last time you got like?
Really drunk?
Like I mean, like the Freshers Week kind of level of.
Oh man, probably 10 years ago. Like,
well, then there you go.
I don't really like. I'll get like slightly sort of happy. But that's...
And we asked for a YouTube video where
or even a
podcast. Yeah, where you get like supersonic smash, right?
Okay, yeah.
And then you got to check back in the next day. You got to be here for like 9 a.m.
Yeah. See,
behind the mic.
I've never enjoyed alcohol that much. I've just never liked it that much. Food, yes.
So right, I think that's where the balance is here, because I'm a raging alcoholic. I'm sober now, but no, I had to go to rehab and all that stuff, right? So that's the thing that happened.
Yeah.
You get to enjoy alcohol with no consequences, right? I'm very jealous. I get to enjoy food with no consequences, so we're even.
Yeah, I do sort of think it's similar. So like some people will eat and they can eat and within like a normal range. If I don't eat like ultra healthy, like if I don't stay off, so I've lost like lots of weight several times.
No, I know. Well done.
So I've lost like 8-9 stone before and then put it all back on.
Oh well, yeah. It's hard. It's hard to maintain.
Well, it's not even maintain. What'll happen is I'll maintain it for ages, and then as soon as I like start eating bad stuff again, I binge. But I can binge like if I'm in a really bad mood, I can binge like fucking 15,000 calories. Like I'll just eat everything in the house. I will eat crackers with nothing on them. I'll eat fucking anything.
I think what people forget is that because at one point I was addicted to food. I've been addicted to everything. I've got borderline personality disorder. A long story, but food is a really difficult one, right? Because I had an eating disorder. I had anorexia, right? And people assume that because you have anorexia, you hate food. No, you love food, but you hate yourself, so you deny yourself the thing that you love, right?
Yeah.
For some people, being overweight is exactly the same internal pain, self-hatred and punishment, right? It's just a form of self-harm to some people, where it's a punishment.
Yeah,
Overeating is a punishment in the same way that undereating is a punishment.
Absolutely.
One of them is socially acceptable and the other one is not. You know, and it all comes from the inside. Like some people just eat because they enjoy it.
Yeah.
Deadly. Some people eat because they're literally addicted and it's a form of self-harm.
Yeah.
And do you know what I found out as well? Because I've got ADHD and I'm medicated with a medication called Elvance, right? And for the first little while you take Elvance, you have to be really careful because you'll lose weight. And it's because of the dopamine, right? So if you are some people with BED, which is binge eating disorder, which is a really real condition. And essentially what you're doing is you're seeking out things like treats, right? To give you dopamine, to get a dopamine hit. And it's called dopamine mining.
Yeah.
Where you're like, and the easiest way to dopamine mine is to eat or to be on the internet, right? So, and you can do both of those at the same time. Deadly, right? But my medication, whatever way it works, essentially, I'll put it in a nice way. It's like you get that dopamine, which is the happy hormone, and it floods your brain with dopamine. So you've got adequate dopamine, which means you're not seeking it out. So then you forget to reach for treats and reach for nice things and whatever. So you lose weight. But what they ended up doing was they started prescribing it to people with binge eating disorder.
Right, okay.
Right? So they've got the dopamine. They're not seeking out treats. And it changed a bunch of people's lives.
All right.
Yeah. So off label's the thing they do in psychiatry quite a bit, where it's like, this medication's not for this, but here you go.
Yeah.
And it worked really well for some people. Because a lot of people just need the little bit of a kick into, because some of it's up here, right? So it's like, if you can take away that connection to the brain to do that, then they get themselves on a wee kick without the brain telling you to do the other thing, and it's enough to kind of keep them going, and then they stop taking the meds and they're grand. Yeah. But also, like, you have Ozempic, which if I hear one more gym bro lose his shit about Ozempic, it's like, brother, you've been using steroids for 10 years, all right? Nobody said nothing to you. Nobody made you feel bad. Now that we have Ozempic, right, and some people are using that as a way to lose weight, you're going to turn around to them and say that they haven't earned it? You shut up. Shut up. I hate it so much, but also Ozempic has shown amazing side effects for women with PCOS.
Yeah, I heard about that, yeah.
Women are getting pregnant, like, in their late 40s and 50s and stuff.
Yeah.
Because, like, they've been, it's a really hard one to explain, but, like, hormonal imbalance, whatever, taking this medication. Because if you go to the doctors, right, and you're overweight, you could have a broken arm. Well, they're just going to go tell you to go lose weight. Because I've had it on the other side, because I had a heart condition. Well, I don't know what it is still, but my heart was going like a hummingbird. I would be on my bed scrolling TikTok, and my heart's going like I've just ran a marathon.
Yeah.
So, kind of living the best life. Like, I was like burning calories on TikTok. It was class. But not class, because I got really, really underweight. And I was going into the doctors and being like, hey, my heart's doing this weird thing, and I keep wanting to pass out, and can I get help? And they're like, have you tried putting on weight? I'm like, what part of my heart's going like a hummingbird, don't you get? I'm losing weight by doing nothing. And it's the same for, my friends that are overweight going in and trying to get help with PCOS. One, getting the diagnosis, impossible. And then two, they're just like, I've got this thing and it's made me put on weight. And they're like, have you tried losing weight?
Yeah. I think it is improving slightly now, though, to the point where I think people are starting to realise, people who are like very underweight, it's more of a symptom than it is. It's not that it's
not the cause.
It's not that it doesn't affect your health. Obviously, it's really bad to be either of those things for your health. But
one of them will kill you quicker.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's not
true.
Being overweight.
Yeah, that's true. But they're both bad for your health. But I think more so what people are starting to realise now is a lot of the time it's a symptom of a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And the body is very complicated. Like you said, like we give people medications all the time. We're like, oh, fix this other fucking thing that we weren't even aware was connected.
Yeah.
And people do, one of the things I will say is, beyond even people's weight, people who end up with drug addictions. I have a lot of drug addiction in my family. I have a lot of alcohol addiction, stuff like that in my family. People end up that way for very complicated reasons. And we really like to simplify it. And it's not even as simple as it's in their head. Some of it is, yes.
Yeah.
Some of it is in people's body. Some of it is predisposition. Some of it is behaviour.
Epigenetics.
Yeah.
All of these things.
There's a big mix of things. And people are just trying to their best as they
We're
go
all
through life
just
to
trying
figure
our
them all
best.
out
We're all
and
just
put them
trying.
all in place.
Yeah.
People do, especially on the internet. One of the really bad things that's happened over the last while is I'm all for like inspirational, like, yeah, you should get up in the morning, you should do. It's great to an extent, but simplifying everything to you just need to be more disciplined is that's going to work for some people with some problems some of the time at some points in their life.
Do you know what? I got so bitter at one point, right? This is the level of petty we're dealing with here, where we were like, just exercise, just exercise. One, I got addicted to running, but anyway, then I went into CrossFit.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, right, Joe Rogan says that if I work out, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
Grand. So I went. I got ripped to shit. I was a tank, bro.
Yeah.
In 6 months, I went from not being able to lift 45 kegs to being able to deadlift 105 kilograms at about 50 kilograms. So that's in 6 months.
Yeah, that's insane.
So I did it right, and I was ripped and whatever have you, and that's what people try to be in this, that, and the other, and I was still measurable as sin. I still hated myself, wasn't happy. It doesn't fix it.
Yeah.
Like, it's more than just, hey, have you tried going to the gym? Have you tried going for a run?
Yeah.
Have you tried nootropics?
Yeah.
It's like, I can't just go for a run because my problems are still chasing me. Okay, like it's not gonna solve it.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of the times, like you said, it's a complex issue. It's not just one thing. It's not just that person's really sad and they're drinking themselves to death. It's like, there's probably more to it.
Yeah, well, part of the problem is that part of it is that, but it's never just one thing, and even I don't want to be dismissive. There'll be people watching this who are like, well, I watched whoever it was, be it Joe Rogan, be it one of the other million people that do it, and I did what they said, and it changed my life, and absolutely,
That's
100%.
Love that.
It will, at points in your life, be the absolute thing that you need. There's been points in my life where discipline is all I needed. And I have been, I was fully vegan for like 3 years.
Oh,
and I
yeah,
ate like
same.
fucking, listen, I've been disciplined. But if you keep arriving back at the same place, all I will say is, if that works for you, great. If you keep arriving back at the same place, allow yourself to look at other avenues of, what, not that I know anything, but don't just listen to everybody else in your life. Do listen to them, but also listen to yourself.
Aye. But it's definitely that thing if you keep coming back to the same bit.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's that whole insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And it is true. It's like, you can go ahead and if you think it's a weight issue, grand, and then you go and you lose the weight and then you're still unhappy and then you get it back on and it's like, oh, maybe there's something else going on.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't like myself.
Yeah.
Maybe I just want to punish myself. And if that's like, because self-harm and stuff comes in many, many, many different ways. So like, it's hard to get to a point in your life, I think, as a human being where you're not partaking in something that's harmful, right? So it's like, if you're doing something that's extremely harmful and then you're playing whack-a-mole with it, it's like, oh, I'll start running and then, oh, wait, no, I'm drinking too much. And it's this game of that. Then maybe I'm not going to make you, but it might be time to go talk to somebody.
Yeah, it's always a good idea to get your thoughts out there, for sure.
Well, otherwise it's a vacuum up here.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't like yourself and you're sitting in a room with your own worst enemy every day, maybe
Absolutely.
not going to bode well.
Yeah, absolutely. How did you find you reacted to, because when you went on the X Factor, it was kind of like an overnight, because I remember that clip was everywhere of you singing and them talking to you. That's like millions of views. Was that like pretty much straight away?
Yeah, they didn't tell me my thing was going out that night though.
Yeah.
And I went to the pub. Yes, I went to the pub. I was 16. Whatever. It was before I had a really bad problem with alcohol. But I remember going out and then just getting in a very dangerous position with people coming up to you. But yeah, it changed overnight. Like my whole life, I just went from schoolgirl where people didn't even know me in my school to then just being on the front cover of the newspapers and being recognised everywhere you went. Which, that's amazing because that just doesn't seem to happen anymore. Like overnight success. Because that is what it was. It was no 10 years or nothing. Like definitely hadn't been singing for 10 years, I'll tell you that. But no, I'd already had a shoot before I did TV. I had all the symptoms of the condition that I have now, which is borderline. Essentially, I always just felt guilty for like I always felt like a burden since the moment I was born. And now my family, lovely. Look, good people. Like my parents did not drink a lot at all. I had 3 older brothers, all sane and well. We came from the same uterus, so it must be a me problem.
Yeah.
They're all fine. But no, I had serious deep-rooted issues, and like by 10 years old, I was self-harming, and by 14, I was already suffering with a really bad eating disorder, and just really didn't like myself. But counterintuitively to what people would expect, like doing a show like X Factor was actually good for me.
Okay, right.
It gave me something to work towards.
Yeah.
Which is something that's recommended no matter what you're going through, is have something to look forward to, or like something to push yourself toward, like
Absolutely.
a goal, an ambition or whatever. So it was really good. And I only went on that show to find out if I could sing or not, or whether my family were telling me fibs. I just kept thinking it was going to Judge's House is, sure, that'll be the end of that. That boot camp, that'll be the end of that. Sure, I'll be going home.
Yeah.
It's just saying, it's like, I had to go and speak to my principal and say, I will not be coming back for the rest of 5th year, like A-levels or whatever. I'd signed up, I was up for doing, I think it was 4.5 A-levels or something.
Yeah.
I was a wee nerd. Oh, my dad was so excited. He's like, finally, some money in the family. And it's like, I'm going to pursue the arts. But no, I just kept expecting it to end, and it just kind of kept going and going. And, I was going to take the year out for music anyway. Like, once I kind of started the audition process, I was like, do you know what? I will do it. I'll take a year out and start writing and whatnot. And then it just kind of kept going, then national TV. And then I think the minute they were like, you're on the tour, which if you don't know, that's when you get paid.
Okay, so you get paid for the X Factor tour?
Yeah.
Right.
You don't get paid for anything else.
Is it good money? No.
I think good money for the tour, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Is it maybe good money for what you went, what was going on, for the past, say, 6 months of, getting up at the Irish crack of dawn and going to bed and maybe having 2 hours sleep and get up and go, which... There's got to be something in child labour laws there for a 16-year-old to be working all day, but I don't
think so.
I don't know. I don't care. I'm not coming for you, don't worry. But no, it gave me the confidence to actually then just go, do you know what? I'll give this a go.
Yeah.
Because I really didn't like myself. So I don't know if I, on my own volition, doing my own thing, maybe would have had the belief to go and do it. But sure, you never know, because like the YouTube thing, but...
yeah, well, it sounds like you were doing it anyway. So, I mean, if you had like 20,000 followers, you were doing something. I mean, most people...
Well, I think it's a case of...
Like when I was
14,
was
doing it.
I was just fucking, like, sitting in my room fucking playing with myself. Like,
I was about to say, I was waiting for it.
I was doing fucking nothing.
But so you say this, like I sat on RuneScape at 10 years old for hours and hours and hours a day. It's like, why did you quit running, Janet? May or may not have discovered Habbo Hotel. Ruined my life on Habbo Hotel, I'm not gonna lie, getting groomed by people, but but no, I think the thing was at the time, sure, nobody was doing the YouTube thing, so less of an occupied space, whereas YouTube now, good luck. You know?
I was a YouTube OG actually. I had a channel when I was 13.
Same, bro. Yeah. I had to delete
I had
mine.
a channel that I'm not going to tell you the name of because the videos are still out there. And they are horrific. I was making comedy videos when I was like 12.
What's wrong with that?
Oh man, they were bad. I was talking with this like sort of, I had been raised by the internet and you could tell.
Oh, the Yankee accent.
I had that American.
Me too.
That American accent, yeah. So
Which isn't a child's fault.
no,
But people rip into kids who talk in a wee bit of a Yankee twang, and it's like, hey, maybe more investment should be put in the arts for us to have our better TV stations and better TV shows so we can listen to our own accents.
Yeah, I 100% had an American accent until I was like 15. But
you get bullied enough, and I was like, whoop, fiddly dee.
yeah. Now I have to try and put it on so people can understand me on the internet. After that, like, so the X Factor part concludes.
Yeah.
And what's do they sort of like, do they do anything for you after that, or do you ever hear from them again? Are you sort of?
No, the morning I got kicked off the show, I got my Addison Lee to ITV's Central Studios in London. Did my breakfast TVs.
Yeah.
Did some wee internet things, and
right, okay.
then I got a taxi to the X Factor house, and they were all away doing something. And I packed my bags, and Mum had booked me an EasyJet. No, I booked my EasyJet flight, and then got Mum to call them because she'd got a contact there. Because obviously we were frequently flying, and they don't pay for your flights. So they allowed me to take as much baggage as I wanted, which was great because otherwise I would have been paying for like 4 suitcases.
Yeah.
But no, that was it. I said goodbye to the security and the people that babysat me during that time, and off I popped back home.
Okay.
That was it.
That's mad. I think we all think like when you're watching something like that, that's just like that you're all, you know, they're all part of everything, and they're like, next we're going to do this, but it doesn't really work like that.
No, and I do you know what? I didn't expect it to.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people go on those shows, and I don't want to burst bubbles, but it's a reality TV show.
Mm-hmm.
It's a TV show.
Yeah.
It's not summer camp.
Yeah.
You know, it's a conglomerate company. Right, and people had this expectation that I didn't have. Maybe it was my internet upbringing and stuff. I just knew that what to expect when you're expectant. You know, I was like, well, why would they?
Yeah,
I got kicked off. Bye. Not on the show anymore. Got kicked out of the M&S ad.
You didn't get to be in the M&S ad.
Do you not remember?
You got kicked off it.
No, right. So they filmed this M&S ad, right? And you had every contestant in it, right? And then after the Sunday, from Monday, you weren't in the ad anymore.
That's crazy.
I got paid for that though, so
that's rough.
Which that was actually good money for that one. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, let's go. Yeah, let's get an M&S.
But I didn't even have a bank card.
Or do they have to give it to you in cash?
No. They paid it into my account, right? And Mum would come over every weekend because I love my wee mumma. So she'd come over. She was my emotional support animal. And I didn't have a bank card at the time. I still have my baby bank account.
Yeah.
There's no overdraft in that bad boy. Apart from my Monzo, which I do have an overdraft. I'm probably in it, but like, whatever. But my actual bank account, like, I'd be like, Mum, can I please have £100 so I can get a top from Urban Outfitters? But I had to plan a week in advance.
All right.
Yeah. I didn't have access really to it, nor did I want it.
You're probably better off.
Yeah. And I
would have blew it all when I was 17.
The biggest annoyance though was that you originally had £75 for the week per diem.
Yeah.
Which is your funny money, right? Your lunch money, whatever. And then they got a chef into the house and they deducted that. And then the chef didn't cater for vegetarian, and I was one at the time. So every time I would go to eat dinner, I wouldn't be able to have it because it was like, here's pepper stuff with goat cheese. I'm like,
right.
I don't like cheese. I'm actually allergic to cheese. But that's okay, I guess. So I never got to eat it. Then I spent the rest of I think I had like £20 or £30 after that. And then that was my fucking food budget then for the week.
My God. Okay. Yeah. Well, I definitely don't want to be on the X Factor now.
No, well, you know, I didn't even expect. To me, getting a per diem, I was like, oh,
yeah,
free money.
Yeah.
What? And as a kid, you bear in mind, 16. Somebody's handing you maybe for a couple of weeks £75.
Yeah, I'd have gone nuts with 75
There's a
quid.
lot of Haribo you can buy.
Yeah.
For 75
A lot of milk duds.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was living the best life. But no, I kept that money, and then when I got off the show, I pretty much blew a lot of it on traveling traveling to make music.
Yeah.
Right. It was not. I never really spent it on anything apart from that, and then getting gifts for friends and family for that Christmas and stuff.
Yeah,
Because that
yeah.
was more important. Because
Oh, well, I mean, I had no money when I was 16, so I don't know how selflessly I would have spent it. But I feel like I probably would have
but then
spent
sure,
it
I
on
was bankrupt
sweets.
by 18, so it didn't really matter.
Sure, look, you don't eat. But now you're back again. You've got a single out. We should actually talk about this.
Oh, I know the album, yeah. Woo.
So you've got a singles out now?
So the current single right now is Red Flag. The
Yes.
next one is Best Life. And before that, I released Country Singer, Daddy, and Emotional Rodeo. So they're already out there with 3 videos now.
And they're all on this album. And the name of the album is?
Emotional Rodeo.
It's lovely. Lovely
you.
horse on the front of it.
My
I
lovely horse.
believe you have a lovely vinyl in here.
Yes, I gave you one of the limited ones.
I've got a limited edition vinyl here.
I'd already given my pink one away. I'm so sorry.
I don't know how to get it out.
It's at the top here.
Oh, yeah, of course.
There you go.
Look at that.
I know.
I'm doing this so unelegantly. Look at that. Lovely
they're hard
cream
to wear.
vinyl.
Yep.
Beautiful. You probably can't get. Can you get, is there any of these left?
Yeah, there's still a wee bit left of things. So there's still pink and
Yeah.
there's still cream, and then there's baby blue with alternative artworks.
That's fabulous. If you love a bit of country music, you'll be hearing it. You've playlisted on
Radio 2.
Radio 2.
Yeah, and I still get played a wee bit over here, which is nice.
Yeah.
But it's funny to be getting more plays over the water.
Come on now, Ireland. We have to catch up. We have to start playing Red Flag on the radio
Well,
constantly.
And
This-
also, I have to say, it's not like not that there's anything against it because I love it, but it's not like jiving country music.
Yeah.
As much as I love it.
It's like more modern.
Yes, modern. There's a wee bit of honky tonk though from back in the day in there as well. And
You can
there's-
jive to that if you're quick enough.
If you know how to if you know how to roll, you can do it. But yeah, because I say country, and some people have an idea of what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, well,
I think that's changing though a bit now. I think people are more country used to have. I remember when I was a kid, country used to have this real sort of negative connotation of
Yeah,
being
of
like
course.
one particular type of thing. Now, like I think like most of the cool artists are country artists now, and even people who were previously in hip hop, like say Post Malone, are now country
well,
artists.
Posty makes sense though because he's from the South, isn't he?
100%.
Yeah, and like Beyonce, when people are like, why is she doing country music? I'm like, she's from Texas. I'm sorry. And you from County Tyrone are going to tell her how to suck eggs? You're going
Listen.
to tell her what country music is?
Listen, this ain't Texas. That was
That's in Texas.
a
You.
banger. I don't care.
It was class.
It was a great tune.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. Thank you for joining me. I hope the album goes well. I hope you sell 1 million copies or
That'd be
however many
nice.
copies it's possible to sell in the modern day and age.
I don't know, but sure, if you've got the spare tenner going, I'd appreciate it because
Go and get it. I'm currently trying to get it back into the sleeve
Oh,
as
don't worry.
elegantly as I do anything.
oh, you can break it. I don't mind.
Thank you for joining me. You're an absolute legend. The individual that's watching me right now, I'm pointing at you. Hopefully you've got a lovely day. You're majestic. You're a masterpiece. And guess what? Stay delicious.